So you're told you have a histamine issue, you need to stay away from foods, that you need to go on supplements. But here's the one thing they're not telling you. Before we jump in, as always, please like this video, please subscribe to our channel, and share our videos with anyone that you feel could benefit them. Let's jump in. So here's the thing. I think that what we're seeing in our culture is we're seeing a culture that's going, doing, right? We're pushing the pedal to the metal more than ever before. We're seeing people breaking down, autoimmune issues, and we're seeing this influx of histamine issues. Now, the problem is it's being promoted that all you have to truly do is go on a specific diet. Why? Because we love blaming food. We love blaming other people, other places, other things, foods, for our problems. The problem is that's not how health works. Health is taking responsibility for yourself. And here's the truth. You're not going to like it. The reason you have a histamine issue is because of your habits and behaviors and your experiences. It's your story. It's everything from conception till birth that has created this. Are there different pieces along the way that's created more of a fire in a sense? Sure. But you have to remember that your external environment dictates your internal environment. Your internal environment is a representation of your external environment. Your internal environment is responding to the external environment. It's that simple. Your habits, behaviors, and your environment are dictating what's going on. And this is why you have a histamine problem. Because those inputs are causing that extreme output. I have a histamine problem. If you don't change the inputs, the outputs don't change. The histamine diet, the supplements that you're told to take, what are they doing? They're attacking this end of it. The problem is you can't change your outputs without changing your inputs. You're wasting your time and energy and money. Before we go any further, I want to mention that we do have a mini course called the Histamine Fix. I'll put the link below. It's normally $78, $79. If you use code HIST50, HIST50, you can get 50% off. It's a 60-minute mini course. We go way deeper into this, give you some simple action items so you can understand this a little bit more. What you should focus on with your lifestyle, with your nutrition. What are some small things that you can utilize to support the mast cells, H1 receptors, and so forth. So if you want that, go to the description below. So I think the narrative has to change around this histamine, around everything, right? We got to blame the food. If it was the food, I wouldn't be able to eat it. Remember, it's the dysfunctional system the food's going into. So here's the thing. Can food help? Can some supplements help? Yes. But it's everything that comes before that that's creating the problem with the food and requiring the need for the supplement. If you don't change your habits and behaviors, if you don't, and I'm simplifying this, if you don't really look at your needs, what's draining you, you start getting outside more, syncing with nature, getting out, being away from your computer and blue light, getting off your phone, doing things that resource you and reorient you. You can eat the cleanest food in the world, go on the histamine diet, and guess what? It's going to work when you're on it. When you go off it, nothing's changed, nothing's going to change, right? You're wasting your time and energy and hard-earned money. Now, here's what happens. When we have chronic stress in the system, demands being placed in the system exceed what the system can handle. We get this, the adrenal glands take it on the chin. We get increased sympathetic output, and we're not meant to live here, but we're here all the time, okay? And there's a problem with that is it really is damaging for our system because, again, we're not meant to live here. There's a lot happening, and I'm not just going to go into it because we're talking about histamine. But what happens when you're here is initially the immune system gets hyperactive or what's the word I'm looking for? Hypervigilant, because the system is. If we stay in that state over time, it becomes suppressed. But initially, it's really reactive. What happens now is immune cells are activated, like mast cells, basophils. These produce histamine to create vasodilation in the blood vessels to kind of, I don't know about widen, but like increase that dilation so the immune system can get to where it needs to go as fast as possible. It's like you're driving down the street, you hear a fire engine behind you. What do? You pull over. Histamine response, vasodilation, immune system fire engine. get to the fire. So you're releasing histamine for a problem, right? The body is always prioritizing defense, and you produce histamine. Why would the body produce histamine in something that's really good for you, that plays a role in the immune system, when it's found in food and we need to suppress it with supplements? I mean, none of it makes sense if you truly think about it, right? But what we're seeing is a mismatch here. We're seeing a disruption in your energy systems. We're seeing a compensation. And we need to listen to those signals. The problem is everyone thinks those signals mean diet supplements. It doesn't even come close to what it means, right? Now, if we keep going down this route, a lot of things happen, right? We can't clear histamine anymore because we are actually chelating copper on top of this, which activates the U enzyme. We get gut permeability. We end up with malabsorption. We end up with inflammation. The list goes on. So we have all these wide variety of histamine issues, but we love blaming the outdoors. We love blaming fabric softeners. We love blaming foods, and the list goes on. The problem is those are triggers, right? Those are triggers that are triggering an already overwhelmed system. This is why we have to focus on our habits and behaviors. And this is why in the Histamine Fix, we talk about this. It's about your circadian biology. Why? Because when you really look at the immune system, it is active with the sun. It gets slightly dimmed up. It peaks midday and comes down. And guess what happens at night to your immune system? If you live in a way and you sync with nature and your biology, your immune system repairs at night. But if you don't live in a way to support melatonin production, which regulates autophagy and mitophagy, guess what? Your immune system won't repair. And guess what? Over time, you're going to end up with a histamine problem. And guess what's going to happen over time? You're going to blame food. The problem is, and I know this is harsh, but it's the truth. You need to look in the mirror and blame yourself and say, I need to start looking at these signals and listening to them differently. My body's telling me it wants change. It's not telling me it wants supplements and a diet, right? So we have to break that cycle. We have to break that cycle. And we talk about in the Histamine Fix how to do this, right? We have to start eating nutrient-dense foods, right? To get these minerals, get these nutrients to support copper metabolism. You can even use foods like organ meats, especially kidneys, naturally contains the DU enzyme. The food is gonna work 10 times better than the supplement. Eat the food. You can buy it ground, mix it with ground beef, get the food. You don't have to pound it, you don't have to be the liver king, but it's a great way to use nature to support a dysfunctional system, right? Morning sunlight, get that morning sunlight, that sunrise UVA, build melanin, eucuronic acid. So many things are happening here. You're supporting POMC and ACTH. You're helping that HP axis. You're taking the burden off the adrenals. You're supporting that cortisol melatonin relationship. The list goes on. What are you doing now? You're putting out the fire. You're quieting the system down. You're regulating, let's say, the circadian rhythm of your immune system while you're taking the burden off the system, right? Huge. You can add certain supplements like thymus gland. We explain why. Teas, we explain why. Like nettle, holy basil, etc. Because these things act on the mast cell or H1 receptors. But here's the thing. What everyone wants to do is, I'm going to take the desiccated kidney. I'm going to use the teas. I'm going to use the thymus. But the problem is those things don't work if you don't create the change. You're chasing the outputs. You can't chase your outputs. Everything in your body requires an input, right? And here's the thing. These are all tips. These are all keys, and that's what YouTube's about. It's information. I'm really not teaching you how to apply it. I can't. You're not a client. I don't know you. I don't know your story. So don't take this and run with it. Of course, we go deeper into this in the Histamine Fix. But I do this because I want to share how you can look at it differently, how you can begin to take responsibility for yourself, how you can begin to make changes. You can't control anything but yourself. And you can begin to make changes every single day with your habits and behaviors that have a huge influence on your system to restore your energy systems, to restore your antioxidant production, to restore the HPA, HPT, HPG, and HPG axis, to restore that melatonin production, to restore that leptin signaling. And all you have to do is shift your focus away from diet and supplements and blaming food and over here, which is you, your habits and behaviors and everything in between. So hopefully this resonates with you. If you have questions, put them below. If you're interested in the Histamine Fix, go to the description, use that code, you can get 50% off.